Hey guys, this is Loman02. I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on how to register for a Gatherling event. So what you're going to do when you first get to the page is you're going to go to the login right here. If you need to register, you're going to say please, or it says please click here if you need to register. You'll click here and then put in your MTGO username, which you can see I'm already registered in Gatherling. You'll go ahead and put in a password, confirm your password, put in your email and standard time zone. You can either make your email public or private as you would like. Go ahead and click register my account, and then you should receive a confirmation email, which you'll receive in the email box that you have put as public or private right here. I guess now you have my email. Once you go to your email and confirm it, you should be a registered user on MTGO. So once you're registered, what you're going to do to register for an event on MTGO is you're going to have a thing called the player CP. When you go to your player CP right here, you'll see we put in our username and then click login. And then we can go into our player CP. You won't have a host CP or a series CP, this is just a standard user. But you're able from this location to register for any given event, free event that's being played on Gatherling.com, or correction, on MTGO through tournament structure on Gatherling.com. So as you can see, there's a vintage MTGO Swiss going on soon. And our own event that I'm doing this really to promote is the Chainsaw Massacre 4.02 coming up in 3 days on Saturday. And your CP obviously it has all your ratings and your event records, your favorite cards. Go figure. My favorite land card is a Plains, but my favorite card, according to Gatherling, is Force of Will. Force of Will is probably right. Plains maybe not as much. Although I haven't played as many Force of Wills or Plains in recent history. Regardless, though, this is how you do it. If you are more interested in seeing more on what the Chainsaw Massacre looks like, you can actually click on one of the events and actually see some of the histories and the decks that have been used in it. And if you wanted to look at the entire history of the seasons or the event reports, you can go to the season leaderboard right here, and then go through season 3, all the way through. Or correction, this is all the way through season 3. And if you want to go to season 4, you'd go right here. And get the season scoreboard, and you can see what was played in that event. Or you can see all of the season scoreboard from season 3, which shows you a bunch of different decks. So, for instance, if we went to, I don't know, 3.15, it looks like I randomly won this one right here with Death and Taxes deck. So, if you wanted to see my deck that I used to win that one with, you come in here and you can see we're basically playing a white weenie disruptive deck right here with an equipment package and some other stuff in it. Just really an aggro deck. So that's how you get on Gatherling. That's kind of how one of the ways you navigate it. Another interesting thing you can do if you want to see the MTGS, or this is how it's linked to MTGS or MTG Salvation, you can go to the front page and find the Chainsaw Massacre right here on the front home page, and click on the Chainsaw Massacre 4.02. What it'll end up doing is rerouting you to the page 1 or the mini or the tiny URL for MTGS or MTG Salvation. And this is the events homepage right here. So when you get on this page right here in MTGS, which is also linked in the article that this will be attached to, you'll see the page 1. Page 1 is relevant. I mean, it has all this kind of video department stuff, which links to a lot of other folks' videos, my videos. It goes to regular tournament structure, how we play. It's 3 to 4 rounds. What the prize pool is, which is also described in the article. How you register, but this is kind of helping you register. Where the chat is. So the way this event is actually run, is to simplify, kind of describe how it's run. Any Gatherling event, there is a chat channel, and the games are played out in the Getting Serious room of MTGO. So if you're newer to MTGO, the way you get to that is, that's 4CB right there. You go to your play lobby and go to constructed open play. Generally speaking, it's going to be set to go to the just for fun room. If you go to Getting Serious, this is where we play. We play all the PREs here. So any PRE that you're playing off Gatherling will be played in the Getting Serious room. And then if you're interested in setting up a chat with someone, what you do is go to join new chat session off another chat, and you're going to do hashtag for this format specifically, hashtag S100. And this right here, I am the only user in it right now because none of the other users are on because the event doesn't happen for 3 days. But typically speaking, all of the chat would happen in hashtag S100 while we were playing, so we can coordinate the event. But what will happen during event? Well, correction. Let me finish this first. So the format structure, it gives you the rules here on how you play the game, card legality, the ban listing, your deck legality. It has to be 100 cards. It can have 15 in the sideboard or none in the sideboard if you like. These are played as vintage decks, so when you're using a filter, you have to play it as a vintage deck. And then there are some other decent ideas down here from ML Berlin. If you're interested in kind of like, some of the commentary, this thing goes all the way out to page 41 of just like some random musings and debates on cards, relative power, the event. Um, one of the things I note in the article is that I'm giving away some treasure chest in addition to the standard prize pool of 16 ticks. We just recently had unbanning, so there's a lot of dialogue about cards like Entomb, which is still banned. It may be after 6 months. So the way we tend to do card bans, because it's actually a totally community-led ban list, is we do a voting process, and the way it was done before is through just a Google voting tool. It's not open any longer, but this is basically how we do it. All of the player base goes through and puts their votes in, and then puts their username at the end to actually vote for cards. So the format itself is actually 100% player run. It used to be an MTGO filtered event. It was never really a tournament event or a played event for any tournament structure like 1v1 is now. And we've significantly changed the ban listing at this point from what MTGO had previously set. So you'll see some diatribe like that in there. But going back to Gatherling, once the event starts in Gatherling, you'll go to your player CP right here, and as it slowly gets there, what'll happen is you'll go down to the bottom right here and it'll say active matches. Unfortunately, sometimes Gatherling has errors. This match right here happened a long time ago, as you can see in 3.20, where we played against C4R1S. But if you have an active match, it'll show up down here, and you'll see who you're going to play against. And then you will go into the event, or you go into the Getting Serious room, and you will type in, my name versus, this person's name, CSM, round one, and then just you'll start the event. You'll select your deck and then start the event. Obviously, it needs to be the deck that you've registered inside Gatherling. And actually, let me go through that really fast. So if you need to register a deck in Gatherling, what you do is you say, all right, well, I'm registered for Gatherling now. I have a CP. I want to register for the Chainsaw Massacre event, so I will register in the event. Once you say you want to register in the event, it'll ask you what deck you want to play. I could select a previous deck I played, and if I select Bug Loam, it just pulls my deck list up from last time. Or I can select even an older deck, any deck I've really played. This is not that's a tribal deck, but 4CB right here is a mid-range deck. Automatically loads up. The other way you do it, if you have never loaded a deck before into to Gatherling, is you export a text file of your deck. So let's say I wanted to play, let's say for instance, I don't know, let's say Azorius Beats. Let's say I want to play this blue-white control deck right here. Well, here's the deck. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over on this and click export. You want to export it as a text file. I'm going to put it on my desktop for now. So I've exported this file to my desktop, and I'm going to go and find it. Nope, here it is, Azorius Beats. I'm going to go ahead and open this right here, and I'm going to copy the main deck up until there's a space in between, in this case, Prohibit and Blue Elemental Blast. I'm going to copy it. Oop. And paste it in here. Then I'm going to grab my sideboard and do exactly the same thing and paste it down here. And then I'm going to probably rename my deck, but you can name your deck whatever you want, in this case, this, and this is most certainly a control deck that we've selected. Probably call it blue-white control is what I would call it. And then if you want, you can save some of your decks. If you're going to play the same deck over and over again, it makes it pretty easy because you can just select it. If I want to go back and play Pattern Rector, which is a creature-based combo Abzan deck, I can just select it here. So that's how you register for Gatherling itself. That's how you register your deck. That's where you find the rules. So if anything in the article was confusing, I hope that this short video series helps to better, I guess, articulate and show where you can find how to play the event, or really any event in Gatherling. So I mean, if this is not an event that interests you, but you've managed to read your way through this and you want to play, just some vintage, you can go to the homepage and say, all right, when's the next vintage? Oh, right, cool, right here. Let me check it out, and you can go to look at their MTGS page right here and figure out their times. What the prize payout is, what their room is for dialoguing in. For this case, it's hashtag Vintage Swiss, and you can jump into their event. The way you jump into their event is much the same way as we just set up and registered for the Gatherling or the 100 card singleton event. We go to player CP, we go in and say, oh, Vintage MTGO Swiss, let's register for it, and I register for it here, and I input my deck. So I hope this short video series has been informative and helps support the article. If you do opt to play on Saturdays, one thing of note: when you're inside your player CP, you can see how far out games are as far as time. The Chainsaw Massacre starts at 1600 or 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the continental United States. So depending on where you're at, that's obviously going to vary. But the one thing I do like about Gatherling, even though this has some clunkiness to it, is that when you pre-register for events, you can continue to maintain a bubble on how far out you are from the event starting. I hope this is helpful, guys. And if you decide to come on out, I look forward to playing against you. All right, take care now.